Which Cincy sports star deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame? And which one belongs in the Hall of Shame? Tonight, we are naming names. And welcome back to the Cincy Sports Scene podcast, where your local sports get a microphone and a little bit of chaos here. I'm your host, Dave, and tonight we've got it all. The Reds are streaking. We got Cincinnati Bengals minicamp update, FCC, and yes, we are building the ultimate Cincinnati Hall of Shame. So get your votes ready because some of these names might surprise you. We'll also hit our quick hitters recap, toss in some trivia for our loyal listeners, and prep you for next week's MLB trade deadline. So let's get into it. Let's start with our quick hitters. The Reds, they have coming out of the break. We had a great series against the Mets, taking 2 of 3 in Shea. Well, then we turn around, be typical Reds, lose 2 of 3 to the Nationals, but then we sweep the Tampa Bay Rays here to we're 6 games up, game back in the wild card. What do you make of this 9 games out of the stretch here, Sam?
That our offense is too inconsistent and we need a legit, 4-hole hitter, something that we've been saying since the beginning of the season that they needed. Someone with legitimate power who, when things aren't going right, if they hit a home run, maybe lights a spark. Because, the pitching's there. And, when we score 5 runs, 4 runs, most of the time we're right there in the game. Very rarely are we losing games, 8-4, where it doesn't really matter if we just scored 6, lose anyways. So it's been what we've been saying all year. That's how they played all year. They win 3 out of 4 and then they turn around and lose it. They give it right back. Hopefully, sweep the Rays, who Rays have been very similar to the Reds this year in terms of their pitching. The offense has been kind of and they've been just kind of hovering around 500. I think now we're 6 games over 500, which is the most we've been all season. So hopefully we can keep building on that. But the deadline's in 3-4 days?
Yeah, the 31st.
Is it Thursday, I think, maybe?
Yep, it is.
They've got to make a move. This will be 2 straight, 2021, 2023, where we have had teams that are playoff caliber teams, and front office both those years refused to make a move. They do it again this year. I don't know what the point is of being a Reds fan. If they're not going to try, what's the point in us going out to the ballpark, showing support? Mm-hmm. What's the point of us talking about the Reds?
Right.
If they don't care, they've got to make a move.
Yeah, they have to do something more than just a middling reliever. Even though they do need bullpen arms, I think. It's just we'll talk more into this here in our quick hitters because we do have some stuff in there for our listeners about what we think of some of the rumors and what we think that the Reds might do. But yeah, I think we need that big, powerful right-handed bat in the middle of our lineup. Today's game, this weekend's game was good. They had some timely hits finally, 2-out hits. I like that. But yes, I was talking with Jeffrey a little bit today, and we both agreed that it would be nice to have somebody that could hit a home run, whenever they wanted to. Yeah. Somebody like an Aaron Judge come in and just boom, but not saying that we're going to get Aaron Judge, but just somebody that can hit that ball out. Now, we've had that in the past and same results. So we'll see. Let's move on to our next quick hitter. Trey Hendrickson's holdout. His post said, see you later. I'm heading to Florida. Those type of things. In my opinion, I don't think they get it. They're not going to get a deal done until probably right before week 1 is my opinion, if a deal gets done. The Bengals reports out there are saying that it is, the Bengals offered like $28 million more in money, but Trey wants the second year guaranteed. So basically he would have 3 years guaranteed, and the Bengals were like, no, we only guarantee that first year. Now they've changed in the past. They've guaranteed Burrows and Higgins and Jamar's. What's your thoughts on the Trey situation?
I don't think they will. I think the Browns they're going to be stubborn on this one, just like they were with Stewart. Seems like they got the clause that they wanted in exchange for $500,000 more up front, which is just, I don't know how you keep going with the agent that you have.
We'll talk about that next. That's next on the agenda.
Yeah, I won't get ahead of myself. So, the Browns they're coming off a win. If we're looking at it like that, they're coming off a win. I think they're only going to dig their heels in even more with Trey. If a deal is to get done, it's going to be one of those where they start 0-3 because the defense is giving up 40 points, and they're like, all right, you know what? We're just going to do it. But even then, I don't think that they would.
No.
Because they'd be like, yeah, we're 0-3. Just punt on this season. Which would be, but that's the Bengals front office. That's Cincinnati Sports front office is, Reds and Bengals. The FCC seems to have figured out, ironically, their owner is the former Reds owner. It's like, I guess he learned from his mistakes. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too optimistic on it. I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't. The Bengals will dig their heels in. As Mike Brown said, yes, Trey's under contract. And yeah, they did it with Carson. And somebody may offer him a first-round draft pick or a 2 and a 4 or something like that for him, and he'll be playing in somebody else's. But, he's going to be on the wrong side he's on the wrong side of 30 right now. And I know there's a lot of players that have done well in their 30s, but, you look at defensive ends overall, they tend to go down. And hopefully Trey doesn't, but if he sits out this year, he'll be almost 32 next year. Is the team going to give him any more than the Bengals did?
No.
Or will? No, and that's
not if he sits out.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know what he's not going to sit out games. He's getting right now. He has to be fined $50,000 for every day missed. Now, if they come to an agreement on a new deal, the Bengals will probably waive that. But if they don't, Bengals will collect that money. They're not going to say,
they're not going to pay.
No, you can start forfeiting game checks next to pay for all that stuff. But speaking of the other signing that happened Saturday when Shamar Stewart signed his contract, and when I read the details of actually what he got, $500,000 more up front versus December. That was it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I agree that the Bengals won. There's some people saying, well, if that's all that it took, why didn't the Bengals do this a lot earlier and get them in, in mini camps and, rookie camps and things like that? But, I agree with you. I think if he doesn't lose his agent this year, by the time
because if you're him, 4 years from now when you're eligible for free agency, or 5 years if they pick up your option, this guy's not getting you the best deal that's out there. There's no way.
I wouldn't trust him.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
You went back to Texas A&M. There were all these rumors that you were going to re-enter the draft next year. I didn't buy into them.
Right.
But there were all these rumors that, this speculation, because he was back in Texas.
Yeah, working
and
out.
And it's for $500,000 for 4 months difference in terms of the pay date. Are you serious? That's
the language is in the contract.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting for me to see moving forward here is, like with Trey's, if Trey signs a new contract, is he going to have that language in there? That's going to be the
with Trey.
you would think, because if the Bengals
probably
want
it
to,
seems like it's a new standard.
It's a new standard going in there, but like Jamar didn't have his in there,
but also
he didn't.
They've had these guys in the building,
That's and it's
they've seen there's no issues other than like they want to get paid, but like there's no off the field issues. There's no on.
Well, and that was the crazy thing.
If you perfect issues either, you know what I mean? Like
you look at, if you listen to everybody who knows the Stewart kid, they're saying he should have no problem.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Right, because he's not going to prison, but his agent was like, well, what if this happens? And it's like, it's not going to happen because I'm not going to put myself in that position.
Right.
But
there's not a hypothetical if you have good care.
Right, and that's I don't know.
There's hypotheticals with injuries, which you want to protect that, but there's no hypotheticals with going to prison.
No. So moving forward here, we'll go to our next quick hitter, and I know that these haven't been real quick, but just Bengals camp in general. What are you looking for this coming week? They've had a few days here of early practices. What are you looking forward to starting Monday and moving forward here this week?
Yeah, Burrow staying healthy. he's already, he's coming in to the offseason actually healthy. We don't need him to hurt his calf or need an appendectomy or anything like that. He needs to stay healthy through camp. And then second is, what's the defensive end rotation going to be? How is that going to, I'm assuming Trey's gone. Okay, so Stewart, Murphy, and Osai are your three. Samples in there too to make four. So kind of those four, where are we going? Like, what's the first depth chart going to be? Who are going to be the first two guys on there? Who's going to be the starters and who's the rotation guys? Yeah, so that's what I'm keeping my eye on.
I'm keeping my eye on the other rookie, Knight, linebacker. I mean, he was in the first team 11 on 11s.
He should be. He's 26. He
should be. You're right. He should be. But it's still a whole, it's a learning curve.
You're right. It is. It is.
But I'm still interested in how our defensive backs played. Today, they played really well. They've been playing pretty well against Burrow. He did not throw a touchdown down in the low end zone portion of the scrimmage today. I'm hoping Al Golden, the defensive whisperer, can simplify it enough where these guys can play fast. And that's what they need to do for that. Yeah. All right. So we're back to MLB trade rumors. Overall, it's, Yankees and the they made the move for their third baseman, which surprised me because I thought they were going to go get Eugenio Suarez, and they went and got Ryan McMahon from Colorado for their number 13th and 15th overall pitching prospects. I'm like, crap, that's kind of low. The Reds could have done that and had, So what I'm saying is I don't think Suarez to Cincinnati is a viable thing, because if the Diamondbacks weren't asking a ton for Suarez, who's on a rental, I think New York would have went in and got him because they need somebody like that in their lineup.
Yeah.
But so I don't think the Geno back to Cincinnati is happening. In fact, I don't think that's the right move, especially as a rental and probably for what they're asking. Now, next year, he's a free agent. Do you go after him in free agency? I don't know. Thoughts on the MLB rumors?
Yeah, he's exactly what we need. Right-handed power bat. Third base, we kind of need a third baseman. If you don't think Marte's going to get it going, because Espinal's not it. So, on paper, it's a great idea, but it's what the Diamondbacks are going to be asking for. They already traded their first baseman, Naylor, to Seattle. I didn't see what they got back in return for him, but they're sellers. I feel like a decent offer would be enough to get him. I don't think you would have to give up that much.
I wouldn't give up any more than what the Yankees gave up. Our 13th pick. I think that's Aguilar right now, and then I don't know who the 15th prospect is. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't even know if I would give up that much because McMahon isn't a rental.
Yeah, but Suarez is better than McMahon. He's better.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's better.
But McMahon would have. I think he has still 2 years of control. I would take McMahon in Great American Ballpark.
Well, he played in Colorado, and it's not like he was a 40-homer guy or even a 30-homer guy out there.
Well, so, that is true.
He's more of he's kind of good defender type of guy. He's played second and third in Colorado, but I don't think he's ever even hit 30 homers.
Mm.
So, he's not some power guy like he's being portrayed as. If he had a couple years left to control, and that's what the Rockies got back for him, that should tell you what they thought of him anyways.
Well, it's
not that they're the best talent evaluators. Clearly,
I was going to say. Right. All right, so moving on. We got a little FCC action. They played Miami minus Messi and another all-star from Miami because they didn't want to play in the all-star game because they were too tired. Load management. But then they did not notify MLS 24 hours or 48 hours ahead of time. And so they got suspended. Messi's up in arms, all that good stuff. But
Good. I mean, that's the rule.
That's the rule.
It's the rule. And they finally stuck to it.
Right, and they stuck to it, and FCs could not take advantage of it. Thoughts on FC?
Well, I mean, they did.
Well,
they kind of got hosed at the very end there. I mean, there was no foul there. I mean, if you listen to the Apple guys after the game, the post game show, it has former players on it, and the panel unanimously says, all three of them, that's a goal. That's a goal. Because the 2 seconds that lead up to it, Robinson does get it. But if you look at the whole play, I mean, dude had 2 fistfuls of his jersey. I mean, he was just breaking away from him, lost his balance while getting away, jumps up, and then clips him. He's already in the air. He heads it perfectly. But, I mean, that's MLS refereeing. I mean, we complain about NBA, NFL, and all these other leagues. Those referees are the best of the best. MLS referees are not, and they're nowhere close, and it shows up time and time again. There's a reason these guys are MLS referees. All right, you got to remember, like NBA, that's the best players and everything too. MLS, it's not.
Right.
Like
that's true.
In England, they have referees. There are American referees that referee over in England because they're good enough to do so. Like this is what we got. Okay, like they're not good, and I mean. I'm not even going to go conspiratorial on you guys. It's just MLS referees are not good. That's all that was. Because, I mean, honestly, they missed a penalty against FCC on Miami earlier in the game anyways, because, again, they're just not good. So, I mean, in all actuality, probably still would have been a 1-1 draw. Even Miami without Messi, they still have a lot of good players. Because they're able to somehow bend the rules. They're able to get Rodrigo de Paul from Atletico Madrid this year, who's on a loan this year. And then they're going to buy him next year so that they can get around all this salary cap on. Like, that dude made like $15 million a year. Like, how's he fitting into it's crap, just because he's Argentinian and Messi? I mean, his nickname is Messi's bodyguard. Like, he's not even that good. He's getting paid this amount just to be Messi's bodyguard. Whatever.
All right, and on our last quick hitter, I don't know if you saw the Jizzle James post where
the Georgia one,
yeah. And people were taken aback and saying, what does that mean? And I haven't seen anything.
I haven't either.
So
I've only seen speculation. I've seen nobody with.
I
haven't even seen any like fake people saying, "Hey, I've got information I can't tell you yet."
Right.
It's just everybody's speculating.
Nothing. Yeah. So I don't know what to tell you.
There was
fans.
I saw one person, again, don't know how true this is, said that Georgia was the first school that offered him, and they offered him on, like, lined up with date-wise from when Georgia offered him a couple years ago. Maybe it was just like but it's awfully weird, and then to get no clarification on it for almost a week now.
It is awfully weird.
It's weird. It's very
and
weird.
Nothing from
the team. Nothing from West. Nothing.
Now, granted, they may be all out and gone.
I mean, they would know. I don't know. The portal's closed, right? Like he couldn't transfer. Right?
No.
Or would he be able to transfer?
I think you can just transfer. Yeah. I think you can. Because I think you can still. Then, right? I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can still transfer.
There's no
until
rules
the
anymore,
first couple of days of classes. I think you have to be enrolled before classes begin, and that's why we, I guess, like football, they have that window and it has to be closed before the January school starts. They have to be enrolled before then, and that's could be the same situation here, but I don't know. UC fans, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if he's shows up on campus here soon. All right, we are going to move into our trivia. Last week, Sam, you had the question, so why don't you go ahead? Let's review the question.
I don't even remember what it was, honestly.
See what it was, because I got to try to find mine. There was one here.
I do not remember what my question even was for you. Yeah, I think I just had it up on Google. I'm not finding it.
Let's see here. I got to come up. Do you got one for this week? Because I thought I had one. Having to do with the Hall of Fame, but
I could probably find one real quick if you needed to.
Let me see.
While we stall, did you watch Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday?
No, I have not. I have not.
I watched it last night. Honestly, I thought it was solid.
Yeah. Huh.
Wasn't as good as the first one, but it definitely wasn't bad either.
Well, I haven't watched the first one either, so that's probably why I didn't watch the second one. All right, trivia. Let's see, where's my? I think I had the trivia question last time, son.
Did you?
Because I said Ellie is the first Red to be intentionally walked 3 times in a game since.
That's right. You're right. You did. You did that last week. Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago, because we weren't here last week.
Yeah. I'll pull up the trivia question.
Yeah. So the answer was there was 2 Reds, and the answer, gosh, it was, you got one of them right, and I'm bad. I'm sorry, folks. I should have had the answers down. Let's see if I have it here. Well, it was, I know the one who you didn't get was Tucker Barnhart.
Tucker Barnhart, yeah.
Tucker Barnhart. And the reason was he batted right in front of the pitcher. And so they intentionally walked him. This was before, what do you want to call it?
Yeah, to set up the double play.
To set up the double play from the pitcher, or for the pitcher to bat. So it was Tucker Barnhart. All right, you got one?
Yeah, I'm pulling one up here.
If not, we can skip it for the week.
All right, so here we'll do some Reds trivia here. So which Reds player has the most Grand Slams in one season?
In one season?
One season.
I want to say it's not like a real famous person.
You're right.
So it's not like one of the great eights or like Votto.
No, definitely not. This guy was an all-star. The year he did it, he was an all-star.
I want to say it wasn't Suarez, was it?
It's not Suarez, no.
Because I thought he had a couple.
I would say not quite as good a player as Suarez. Not quite, but still, he was only, he was here 2.5 years, and this was somewhat recently. Since 2010, I'll give you that hint.
Since 2010.
Yep.
Not Duvall. Was it, wasn't Scooter, was it?
Yep.
Was it Scooter?
Scooter Gennett. Yeah, he had 4 in 20.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it wasn't somebody famous, but it was, somebody that.
I mean, those 2 years with Scooter. That would have been his whole career. He'd be talking about him as famous.
That is true. That is true. All right. So Scooter Gennett is.
Speaking of Scooter, you see that A's rookie hit 4 homers the other day?
Yeah, 6 for 6.
And he was like a foot away from 5.
Yeah. I mean, he was 6 for 6 and all that good stuff. Yeah, he had a day. He had a day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
All right. So I'm gonna edit this here. So our topic of the week. This week we have the Cincinnati, as we preluded in our introduction. Cincinnati Hall of Shame. This is the Hall of Fame weekend here. Dave Parker, congratulations, Cobra, for being elected. Too bad, unfortunately, that you did not get to enjoy it because he passed away this year. Here just not too long ago, and I did not get to watch the speech or the highlight. But one side note: the guy who is in Pittsburgh right now, who wears number 39, he is electing to not wear 39 anymore in honor of Dave Parker. He made the comment that, if you're in the Hall of Fame, I should not be wearing your number. So that's a nice gesture for the city of Pittsburgh and the fans. Now, hopefully the Pirates retire his jersey, rightly so for him. All right. So we are going to, the way this is going to work, we're going to throw out some Hall of Shame criteria here that we think deserves to be nominated. It could be a player, it could be a coach, it could be an incident that we're like, this is very shameful for the Cincinnati. And the reason, 2 reasons why we're thinking of doing this. One, it is Hall of Fame weekend. I said, okay, what can we do to put a little spin on it? And I don't know, just because the Browns are the Browns, did you see what they did to get publicity?
Yes.
Where the guy fell off the pier, pier, but it was actually on purpose,
Yeah.
And it's just like, are you kidding me? But the best part of that whole thing was if you zoomed in, one of the little sponsor guys was the Dude Wipes, so it's like, okay, you're basically being sponsored by something you wipe your butt with. Perfect fitting for the Cleveland Browns. So that's very shameful. Whoever marketing genius is, let's get something to wipe your butt with. There and get it is Cleveland. So there we go.
Right.
All right.
When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, that's so Cleveland. And then it comes out that that's what they were supposed to do. And I'm like, actually, you know what? That's even more Cleveland. Like,
Yes.
that's even more Cleveland Browns right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
Yep.
their franchise to a T. Yeah,
Right.
at least we're not,
Exactly.
only reason we're not 32nd.
Yep. All right. So we're going to just go ahead and Sam's going to throw out a name. I'm going to throw out a name. And then what we're going to do is we're going to compile like a top 5 that we think would be suitable for nominations. And then if you follow us on YouTube or Instagram or even Facebook and Twitter at Cincy Sports Scene, we are going to post these nominations. And we need your help in electing our first 3 people. We're going to take 3 of them into the Hall of Shame. And then we'll read them on the air next week. So with that, Sam, do you want to kick this nomination process off?
Sure. I will go first. I'm going to take Akili Smith.
And why? You got to say a little bit why. So that,
I mean,
yeah.
what? He was the 6th overall pick and maybe the worst. Was he 3rd? Maybe the worst quarterback the Bengals have had. Maybe, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
Okay. So a Hall of Shame. I'm gonna lump this team in the Hall of Shame, and it's the 2022 Reds when they lost 100 games. You lose 100 games. I mean, you've got to be nominated for the Hall of Shame.
First time in franchise history they lost 100 games.
Second time. Because 81 was the first time, and that team was horrible.
Yeah.
But so right there. All right, you got another one?
I do. I've got Jeremy Hill because he fumbled against the Pittsburgh Steelers and just led to the unraveling of Marvin Lewis. That entire era.
Okay, Jeremy Hill. So my next one is, those of you that are listening to this podcast, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Besides the Cincy Sports Scene to find out what's happening in the world of sports here in Cincinnati. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to Twitter? You're going to go to WLW? I mean, they can't even cover what's happening downtown, the riots and stuff downtown. You think they're going to give you accurate information? No, the Cincinnati Sports Scene will. So thank you, Phil Castellini, for always having a spot as a nominee in the Cincinnati Hall of Shame.
Yeah. I like that one. I'm going to, this is all one line. 2021 Super Bowl offensive line. Just all 5 of them. Just put them in there. I mean, some of the worst PFF grades anybody's ever seen.
That's a good one. The next one.
I can't even remember who the worst was. It Adeniji? Was he the worst graded one?
Adeniji.
I think somebody got like a 2.5 grade or whatever. That's how bad they were. Yeah, I think it was Adeniji.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Or was it Bobby?
No, he was gone.
Oh yeah, he was.
Bobby Hart was gone by then.
But there was another guy, big offensive lineman, that was just really bad too. I mean, they're all big and all, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So my next person is, now a lot of people may like her, a lot of people may hate her. She did bring winning baseball back to Cincinnati, won a World Series, brought,
she brought some other stuff too.
She brought a lot of baggage with her as well, and. Marge, love you. Bringing, got to see it up close and personal, the World Series in '90. But the downfall of Marge and, just some of the things, she deserves a nomination.
Yep.
Got any more?
Let's see. I can't remember I want to put an FCC person in. I can't remember the coach's name that got fired because he was what was his name?
I can't remember.
Because he was singing a song and he said the N-word in it. I can't remember whoever that coach was. I can't remember. I think he was some Dutch guy. I can't remember his name though. And then they ended up firing him. But we're gonna put him in there. See if I can find his name real quick.
See, there's is it Yap Stern or
Yep, Stam? He came after.
Tyrone Marshall was before Noonan. Stam, Johan Dammit.
That's it. Yeah.
Ron Johns. So Johan was there
Ron
twice.
Johns.
Johan was huge.
He was an interim both times, I believe.
Yeah. Alan Cook.
He took over for Cook.
Yeah.
And then they hired Yop Stam or whatever. They fired him like halfway
Ron
through.
Johns. They hired
Yeah.
Ron Jans, and then they fired him, and then they brought in Johan back, and then Stan back. So, which one you going with? the FCC coach?
Yeah, they got fired for singing the N-word.
Okay.
I guess we'll put that on the graphic.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm sticking with owners because, the ineptitude that comes out of Paul Brown Stadium, Paycor Stadium, the entire lost decade of the 90s can be attributed to this one guy, and that is Mike Brown, the Redeemer, as he's so fondly referred to. But Mike Brown for not bringing a championship yet to Cincinnati, even though he got to the Super Bowl. But Mike Brown, Hall of Shame.
It was Ron Johns.
Ron Johns.
And I do apologize, he did not get fired. He ultimately resigned on his own.
Gotcha.
But sentiment remains.
Any more? Because I got two more.
You got two more?
Yeah, I got two more.
I don't think I've got any more off the top of my head.
So my two, I've got, the night before the Super Bowl in '89, you go out, buy drugs in Miami, and next thing you know, you miss the Super Bowl. Nobody knows where you're at. You're the kickoff specialist. Stanley Wilson, you deserve a place in the Hall of Shame.
That's a good one. You know what? I do have one more, but okay. I'll let you go.
No, go ahead.
Similar Bengal, just purely off of his nickname, what his nickname ended up becoming. But Fat Randy deserves to go in the Hall of Shame. Missing a field goal and then coming up limp and grabbing the wrong leg is definitely shame-worthy.
That is good. I forgot about Fat Randy there. And then the last one I have is probably very controversial around this part of town, but Pete Rose. You had it all, son. You had it all. You had it hit king. You could pretty much walk on water in this town. And still some parts of this town, you're still held.
You still could, yeah, in some parts.
But lying about betting on baseball, then coming out and saying, yes, you did, so that you could sell books and then move to Vegas and always selling your autograph. Not to mention all the other off the field stuff that's happening. But just the whole falling from grace, very shameful. Pete Rose. All right, so we got to come up with 5. We both had Jeremy Hill.
Yep, that's on there for sure.
So we'll put Jeremy Hill.
Phil Castellini needs to be on there.
Castellini needs to be on there.
Needs to be on there.
Okay, so that's 2. Do we?
I mean, Stanley Wilson should probably be on there.
Stanley Wilson.
I kind of even forgot about that. Otherwise, he'd have been on my list.
Stanley Wilson's 3.
I mean, that's an all-timer.
That is an all-time.
That might be like if you made an purely NFL Hall of Shame, all 32 teams, he might crack that.
Yeah, he might. It might be there. So we got 2 more.
I mean, I'm in favor of Achilles Smith being on there.
Achilles Smith, okay. Because we've got Marge, Mike, and Pete. You know, Achilles just was. He was just bad. He really didn't.
Okay, yeah.
He really didn't bring any shame to himself. He just was bad. And, he was in the run and shoot offense out in Oregon, and he only played 1 year. And the Bengals.
All right. We'll cut him some slack.
He was bad. He was bad, but I don't think he did anything to bring shame to himself, as far as like Ryan Leaf, right? Ryan Leaf was.
Yeah, he brought shame to Bengals fans, so he had to stick up for him. But
besides that, yes, but I would give Achilles a pass if it's a top 10 list. Achilles Smith is on the list, right?
All right, for a top 5.
Top 5.
We'll give him a pass.
To me, it's between Marge, Mike, Pete Rose. Those 3.
I think Pete's got to be on there. I think he does.
Just because
the gambling and then all the stuff that came out later too. All the.
And then Marge,
probably.
I would love to put the Bengals offensive line. I like that one.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's.
Yeah, you can't leave Marge shot off the list in favor of them. I think.
Right,
and I think she gets the nod over Mike
Brown. Yeah, I think so
at least
too.
Mike Brown doesn't have anything that forced him to sell the team.
Right. Exactly.
Like Marge does. So yeah, I think you got to go Marge there.
All right. So a little recap here on our nominations for the Hall of Shame. We have Jeremy Hill. Bengals fans, you know why. the fumble. Phil Castellini, where are you going to go? Marge shot because, well, if your dog can go taking crap out in center field, you've got players going out there picking them up.
That's on the better side of things.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes, we won't say all the stuff that she said on the air here. Stanley Wilson, congratulations. You might get elected to the Hall of Shame. And of course, Pete Edward Rose, Cincinnati's own. So what we're going to do is I will compile this. We'll have a nice graphic out. If you are watching this on YouTube, when it drops, we're recording here Sunday night, so it'll probably drop Monday night. If you're watching this, you can leave your answer in the comments. I will post a comment with that. I'll leave, you can vote just one. Everybody just votes one, and we'll take the top 3 vote getters. If you find us on Instagram at Cincy Sports Scene, you'll see that in our stories, in our post. Same thing with on Twitter. So, hopefully come next week, we'll have a great
induction ceremony.
An introduction ceremony. Maybe we can get one of them to give a speech. Who knows?
Yeah.
No,
sure.
We'll have to put that E beside it here.
Depending on who it is, they're not around anymore. But
right.
If Stanley Wilson, we'll have to track him down somehow.
Yeah. Well, that's
advertise
true.
We're Miami Coke dealer or something.
And then, so hopefully then we'll read it on air. We'll elect 3 into the Hall of Shame. So there you have it. This about wraps up on this edition, episode 133 of the Cincy Sports Scene. We just want to thank you for hanging out with us today. And if you laughed, nodded, shook your head in disbelief, or agreed at any point tonight, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Tell us, who'd you put in the Hall of Fame? If you don't like ours, give us one of yours. We probably forgot. At least
I'm sure we did. There's been plenty of.
There are. I was thinking of Bob Huggins. A couple of Tommy Tuberville. People like that.
That's a good one. Yeah, I tried to stay out of college, but
there was some.
But I guess coaches are fair game.
Coaches are fair game. Yes. So tell us, who'd you put in the Cincy Hall of Shame? Like I said, we're on YouTube and all the podcasting platforms. And next week, we're recapping the trade deadline. Hopefully our Reds can improve their ball club. And then we're going to do a deep dive on the Reds lineup from 2010 to now, 2025. And we're going to do a little game. We're going to have a little lineup switch. So you want to stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss that. So until next week, everybody, take care.
See you.